Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is the new Teen Titans number 18. I've been doing a lot of Marvel and basically everyone else, and I've been kind of ignoring DC for a while. Number one, because I don't know what DC or series I want to do next. I think what I'm going to do after Secret Wars is Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then I'm thinking about doing a Superman book after that. But for now, I think I'll just go back to the new Teen Titans. This series is, at least in my opinion, especially the 80s new Teen Titans, is freaking awesome. But this issue right here, and the reason why I want to go over this issue, it's another perfect example of the storytelling that was done in the 80s. And in this particular case, this is a one-and-done story of the new Teen Titans having another run-in with the original Starfire, who is not this lady, but this dude in green. Why is he green? Seems kind of odd. But anyway, this story is essentially a tragic story, and it's a really good example of how to tell a really good and deep story in 24 pages. My only complaint about this story is I'm not sure why the damsel's name is Malady. She's supposed to be Russian, but I'm not actually sure if that's a Russian name. It doesn't sound Russian, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is someone in Russia, some lady named Malady. I don't think so, though. It seems kind of an odd name to me. But anyway, the whole basis of this story is kind of Cold War sort of tensions, right? Remember, this is the 80s when this story came out. And what's really tragic about this story is this Russian magistrate wants to get back at the Amerikanskis, and he tricks this young woman to go to America while unknowingly delivering a lot of toxic radioactive material. The FBI catches up to it. They alert the Teen Titans. The Teen Titans have a bunch of sort of flashbacks of their time working with the original Starfire. Meanwhile, the current day Starfire, or I should say the 80s Starfire, is going through some personal drama from a previous issue. If you want to learn about that, read the previous issue. But for now, it's kind of subtext in this one-shot story. But anyway, the lady unknowingly is poisoning people with a radioactive material. She doesn't know about this, so the new Teen Titans are kind of heading out, trying to stop her from doing this stuff. You get a little bit of covert action with Raven, and then they run into the old Starfire, and it's a very interesting story. Marv Wolfman kind of makes Wally West out to be kind of a dick in this issue, and it's kind of within character. It's one of my pet peeves about this issue is that I don't necessarily like how Wally West is a bit of a straw man here for Marv Wolfman to kind of goof on the Red Scare in a way. Like he's kind of representing the unreasonable attitude in the 80s, the fear of the Russians, right? And in some ways it kind of works because Wally West is the conservative character in the Teen Titans. And remember, this is the 80s, right? But then at the same time, it's kind of like, not executed very, I should say, tactfully by Marv Wolfman. Anyhow, they fight. They're able to kind of subdue him for a bit and interrogate him. And this is kind of ultimately the big tragedy of all of this, at least in my view, is that there's such a lack of communication. So Starfire sent on a government mission, and he can't reveal anything, and he won't tell the Teen Titans what's really going on. And the Teen Titans are kind of getting frustrated with him. Some of them are sympathetic, and some of them are not, like Wally, right? But again, this whole thing is a tragedy of miscommunication and misunderstanding. And in some ways, it's almost sort of the I guess what Marv Wolfman's trying to kind of say here is I like how Wally West gets freaking punched here. Sorry, Wally's kind of a dick in this issue, which is unfortunate because I actually really like Wally throughout this, but for some reason he just turns into a dickhead in this issue. But anyway, yeah, what Marv Wolfman's trying to sort of talk about and talk to is sort of both the attitude of the Red Scare and the lack of human sympathy towards Russian people, right? In this way, right? Starfire used to be a member of the Teen Titans, yet now when he comes back, because of the politics of the time, right, there's just a lot of suspicion and fear of what his motives are, right? And it turns out in the end his motives were actually fairly noble. The Teen Titans are able to. Starfire finally corners the lady, and his mission from the government is to kill Malady before she causes more issues and causes sort of a diplomatic crisis between Russia and the United States. The Teen Titans cut him off, and they try to stop him. Wally West continues to be a dickhead in this issue, almost to an annoying degree. Like, it almost gets kind of annoying. It's amazing how much happens in 24 issues, right? Or in 24 pages, I should say. But yeah, they eventually stop Starfire, old school Starfire, and convince him to take the lady to the hospital. It's kind of a waste of time. She passes away. Wally has one last asshole moment before the truth of the matter comes out, which is that he volunteered to do this mission because Malady is actually his fiance. And so they were supposed to be married, and, end of this is she died, and they walk away, and the Teen Titans have to kind of like think about this and, drop their heads in shame. Avengers Annual number 10 edition. So all in all, what I wanted to kind of get through here is, even though I didn't particularly like this issue, this is a perfect example of the storytelling of the era and the storytelling that you can get when you compress the story down. If you think about it, look at how much drama happens in 24 pages, right? And this is just sort of like a gap issue between a bunch of other stories that the Teen Titans are going into, and this is moving further. By the way, this is the New Teen Titans Volume 3. So this is kind of moving towards the beginning of the Judas Contract arc. And you can see here that Marv Wolfman and George Perez were kind of getting on a roll in their run here. And this, at the time, I believe, was the only DC book that was really competing with Marvel very hard. They weren't selling as high as the X-Men, or even, I even think the New Mutants was outselling the New Teen Titans at the time. But they were the only book that could compete at the time. And it's easy to see why, because Marv Wolfman is a solid writer, and George Perez's art is just fantastic. Like, man, George Perez on New Teen Titans is just, oh man, it's just beautiful art all the way through. But yeah, no, this is a good issue. Definitely recommend this volume, or really the entire New Teen Titans run with Marv Wolfman and George Perez. But just another example of how it's done back in the old days. And honestly, kind of just sad to see so many people, even the new stuff from Comicsgate, not really learning about the old stuff and how it was done to provide, great storytelling and value to people, right? Anyhow, that's the review. Let me get to the art right here. This was kind of another session of the struggle bus right here. So what I was trying to do here is I was trying to practice figures in perspective, and failing pretty badly at that. So this one's not too bad. I think the only thing I still am not really happy about is I feel like for some reason one of these figures is not right. I feel like it's Starfire, but at the same time, when I was kind of running out things, it felt like he was okay. I feel like looking back on it now, I feel like he should be taller, but there's something off about Robin here. I'm not sure. But I kind of used a vanishing point right here to kind of trace everybody out. But it ended up not working as well as I'd like. And then the other thing was I kind of got lazy on these faces. I could definitely do better faces than that. And then Wally's jaw and head is all fucked up. But yeah, no, this was another edition of freaking struggling along here. It's not exactly bad layouts. Like, this has bad perspective right here. Like his body should be over or something. I don't know. This wasn't good. I did not like this. It was one of those things where I was kind of moving a little quick here, and then I think if I could do this again, I would probably spend a little more time on this. But it's just another thing to kind of look back and try and figure out, how to improve the next time. But yeah, no, this was definitely a case of the sucks. But it's one of those things, right? You got to keep grinding away and just take it with you and learn from it, right? But yeah, no, definitely not my finer moment. in the sequential art I've been doing recently. Anyhow, that's the review. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you have any comments about the new Teen Titans number 18 or this art, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.